Hello students, let's do the problem. And it says, the depth of a water in a tank is shown on the graph below. Mr. Johnson started draining water out of the tank at a constant rate. What is the slope that represents the situation on the graph? And letter B says, what is the y-intercept? So let's see, what's the first thing I need to find is the slope. The second thing is the y-intercept. So we have talked about a slope and I could do rise over run. The only thing I don't like about rise over run in this situation is that my point on the y-axis is not exactly on a whole number. So I cannot assume that it's, for example, a 0.5 or a 0.3 or a 0.4. So that's the reason why I'm not going to do rise over run. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to find two coordinates, okay, or 2 points that are on the line that can actually use for my slope form. Okay, so let's find 2 points that are here. Well, I do see one here way on the bottom, which is 5 and 0. Is that right? Can you find me another good point that is on the intersection of 2 whole numbers? Remember that you need to find points that are exactly on the intersection of an x and a y. So how about this point that is here? Wouldn't that be a good point? So that would be 1 and 12. Very good. There's several other points, but it's going to be up to you to choose. Regardless of the points, we should get the same answer. Is that right? Okay, let's put labels. This will be my x of 1. This will be my y of 1. Is the first point that I'm choosing. This will be x of 2, and this will be y of 2. So I will circle my y coordinates, and I'm going to write down my formula. And my formula says m equals y of 2 minus y of 1 over x of 2 minus x of 1. Y of 2 is 12 minus 0, and the y of x of 2 it's 1 minus 5. And 12 minus 0 is 12, and 1 minus 5 it's negative 4. If you simplify, it means can I divide by the same number on both cases, right? So this will be dividing by 4, and that will give me a negative 3 over 1. Now remember, the negative 4 was the negative, right? The denominator. But when you finish, that negative applies for my whole answer. So my slope is negative 3 over 1, which is the same as negative 3 by itself. Good? So look at the answer choices. Letter A, we have an answer already. Is that correct? So my answer for letter A, for first one will be, letter A will be my capital A. So we're done with the slope. What about the y-intercept? Okay, so y-intercept, I can tell that I'm looking for this one over here. So let's go ahead and highlight this. So I'm looking for the point where this line crosses the y-axis, and I can see the point right here. The only problem is that it looks to me, and again, we are kind of like guessing over here, it looks to me that that's going to be a 15, because if this is 12 and this is a 14, it looks like that's halfway. So I'm going to think that that looks like a 15, but we're not sure, right? So this is what we do when we're not sure. We're going to use the formula for slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. The first thing that I need to do is choose one point. Okay? And the point that I'm going to choose is 1 and 12. Where 1 is x and 12 is y. Are we good? Okay, so let's replace the values. So y will be 12 equals, we found m earlier. We found slope, right? So that's going to be negative 3 times 1 plus b. So we have 12 equals negative 3 times 1, it's negative 3 plus b. I need to leave b by itself, so I'm going to do the opposite of a negative 3, which is plus 3. Whatever you do on one side, do it to the other side. So the 3's are going to cancel, and I get b equals to 15. Very good. And who's b? If you guys remember, b is the same as your y-intercept. Very good. Isn't that what we predicted? We said that it looked like the point was at, right there, 15, right? So we confirm that right now. So let's look at the answer choices for that. Okay, so what's my answer for this one? Letter H, very good. So that would be my answer for the y-intercept. Okay, so one of the things that I would like for you guys to do is analyze what the numbers represent. It's very important that you understand where are they coming from. So this 15 is actually how much water was in the tank before it started draining it, right? So yes, that's how much water is in the tank before he started draining it, right? So why is my slope negative? The slope is negative because Mr. Johnson is removing water from the tank. So how much water is he removing? Well, he's removing 3 feet of water every hour. Are you guys with me? So every hour he removes 3 feet. So we're going to write it down over here. That's the reason why the slope is negative. Okay? So he's removing, let me continue over here. So he's removing 3 feet of water every hour. Very good. So what's going to happen at 5? What can you guys think about what happened at this point? This is 5 hours. So what happened after 5 hours? What's going to happen after 5 hours of Mr. Johnson doing this? Very good. There's no more water in the tank. Awesome. So it takes 5 hours for Mr. Johnson to finish taking all the water out of the tank. Very good.